Ashes of Yesterday. Chapter 1, The Return. The train slowed as it curved along the coast, the sound of waves faint beneath the metallic hum. Evelyn Carter pressed her palm to the window, her reflection pale against the grey-blue sea. 10 years had passed since she'd last seen this view, the fishing boats, the narrow docks, the line of cottages leaning against the wind. Home. Or what used to be. Her father was gone now. The call had come 2 weeks ago, heart failure, sudden. The funeral was brief, attended by familiar faces that pretended not to stare. Everyone in Mariners Bay remembered Evelyn, the prodigy who'd fled to chase her music, and the scandal that followed. Now, with Iswell Reid, she was back, inheriting the Meridian Inn, a crumbling Victorian house at the edge of the cliff. As she stepped from the taxi, salt and decay hit her senses. Paint peeled from the shutters. The porch sagged under its own memories. And standing by the door, arms folded, was her brother. "Luke," she said softly. He didn't move. His hair was longer now, his eyes shadowed. "You came." "I had to." "Funny. You didn't have to before." The silence between them felt like the years, long and heavy. She wanted to tell him she was sorry, but the words didn't come. Instead, she stepped past him into the house, the echo of her own footsteps greeting her like ghosts. That night, she sat by her father's piano, covered in dust, keys yellowed. When she lifted the lid, a piece of folded paper fell to the floor. A letter, sealed but aged, her name written on it in her father's unmistakable hand. The envelope was water-stained, the ink blurred, but one line was still legible: "I never told you the truth about that night." Chapter 2, Fractures. Mornings came slow at the Meridian. The sea fog wrapped around the house, softening its brokenness but never quite hiding it. Evelyn spent hours cleaning, though Luke insisted it was pointless. "We should sell," he said one afternoon, standing in the foyer with a beer in hand. "There's no reason to keep this place." "This was Dad's dream," she replied, scrubbing dust from a framed photo of their family. "It's all we have left." Luke's laugh was sharp. "No, Evie. You have your music, your concerts, your fancy friends. I had to stay here and deal with his debts." "I didn't know," she whispered. "You never asked." The words hit harder than she expected. Guilt settled on her chest like wet sand. Later, alone in her father's office, she unfolded the letter again, but much of it had faded into unreadable smears. Only fragments remained: "Truth, storm, forgive me." Something about that night, the night their mother died, still haunted her. But the details were trapped behind fogged memory and pain. Chapter 3, The Stranger. The next day, the first guest in months arrived. A tall man with kind eyes and an old leather satchel introduced himself as Daniel Hayes. "Just passing through," he said, smiling politely. "Thought I'd stay a few days. I'm a travel writer, working on a piece about small coastal towns." Evelyn showed him to his room, surprised that anyone would willingly check into such a forgotten place. He thanked her, but as she turned to leave, she caught him glancing at the family photos on the wall. That evening, he sat by the fire, scribbling in a notebook. Evelyn joined him out of courtesy. "Mariners Bay isn't much of a tourist spot," she said. "Sometimes the best stories aren't in guidebooks," he replied. Something about his voice, calm, deliberate, made her uneasy. Yet she found herself talking about the inn, her father, the music she hadn't played in years. When Luke entered later, the air changed. He looked Daniel up and down. "We don't usually get strangers around here." "Then maybe it's time you did," Daniel said with a faint grin. After Luke left, Evelyn noticed Daniel's gaze drift toward the old piano in the corner. "You still play?" he asked. "Not anymore." "Why not?" She hesitated, fingers brushing the keys. "Because every note reminds me of something I lost." Chapter 4, Echoes of the Past. Days passed. Daniel asked questions, not intrusive, but searching. Evelyn found herself confiding things she hadn't said aloud in years: how her mother's death fractured everything, how she'd left after a fight with her father, how guilt had shaped her every song. But then one evening, while she was sorting through her father's desk, she found Daniel there, opening drawers, eyes scanning old ledgers. "What are you doing?" she demanded. He froze. "I heard something fall. I was just." "Don't lie to me." His shoulders tensed. "Evelyn, I need to tell you something. I'm not a travel writer." Her breath caught. "Then who are you?" "I'm an investigative journalist. Your father was under investigation for embezzlement from the Town Development Fund years ago. I came here to finish a story he started." Her voice shook. "You came here to use me?" "No. I came because I think he was trying to protect someone." Chapter 5, The Secret. Evelyn's world began to tilt. Luke confronted her after hearing the truth. "So he's digging up old dirt," Luke growled. "Let him. Dad made mistakes." "Did he?" Evelyn asked quietly. "Or did he do something for us?" Luke's jaw tightened. "You think he stole from the town for a good reason?" "I don't know, Luke. But I think that letter," she held it up, trembling, "was his way of explaining everything." Daniel returned later, apology written across his face. "I shouldn't have lied. But I think your father was covering up for someone. Maybe a partner. Maybe the mayor. If we can find the rest of that letter." "I don't want to destroy his memory," Evelyn interrupted. "He's all I have left." Daniel looked at her gently. "Maybe the truth won't destroy it. Maybe it'll set it free." That night, thunder rolled over the ocean. Evelyn sat at the piano for the first time in years and played a trembling, broken melody that filled the inn like a confession. Chapter 6, Stormbreak. The storm arrived in full force. Wind howled through shattered windows. Luke stumbled through the office, trying to close the shutters when he found a loose floorboard. Beneath it, a small safe. Inside lay envelopes, receipts, and one torn ledger marked with names and numbers. It was proof. Their father had taken the town's money, but the transactions led directly to the academy in Vienna. Evelyn's tuition. When she saw it, her hand shook violently. "He did it for me," she whispered. Luke looked away, rain dripping from his hair. "He ruined himself to give you a life." "I thought he wanted me gone," she said. "All these years, I thought he blamed me for Mom." "He blamed himself," Luke said. "We both did." Outside, lightning flashed, and the sea roared. Daniel appeared, soaked, shouting over the wind, "We need to get out, the power lines are down." But before they could leave, a deafening crack split the air, a bolt striking the roof. Chapter 7, The Fire. Flames spread fast, eating through the wooden beams. Smoke filled the halls. Luke rushed back upstairs to grab the photo albums. Evelyn screamed after him, coughing, unable to see through the smoke. "Luke! Leave it!" "I'm not leaving her picture," he yelled. She found him in the hallway, trapped by falling debris. Without thinking, she ran through the fire, pulling at his arm. Daniel appeared behind them, using his jacket to shield them as they stumbled toward the door. They burst outside into the storm, collapsing in the mud. The inn, their father's dream, their family's burden, burned against the dark sky. In the morning light, all that remained was ash. Among the ruins, Evelyn found a half-burned letter, the last page, somehow intact. Her father's words read, "I wanted to give you the chance I never had. I took what I shouldn't have, but I did it for you. If this is my sin, then let it die with me. Play again, Evelyn. Don't let my mistakes silence your song." Chapter 8, Ashes and Dawn. Weeks later, Mariners Bay began to rebuild. The Meridian was gone, but Luke stayed, helping neighbors repair storm damage. Daniel's article was published, not as an exposé, but as a story of redemption. He portrayed their father not as a thief, but as a flawed man who sacrificed everything for love. One evening, Evelyn set up her keyboard on the beach, facing the horizon. Townspeople gathered quietly as she began to play, a new composition, soft and mournful, titled Ashes of Yesterday. As the final notes drifted into the sea breeze, she felt something release inside her. The past no longer chained her, it only shaped her music. Daniel approached afterward, hands in his pockets. "I'm leaving tomorrow," he said. "But I hope this isn't goodbye." "It's not," Evelyn replied with a small smile. "You gave me back my truth." He nodded, glancing at the smoldering ruins beyond the cliffs. "Sometimes we have to lose everything to see what's worth saving." Evelyn turned back to the waves, her reflection shimmering in the tide. For the first time in years, she felt whole, no longer haunted by the echoes of the past, but strengthened by them. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, she whispered, "Thank you, Dad. For everything."